Yeah, my people, how I done that they don't reach again for another strong interview. And I know say if I sit down this kitchen like this, you know say I want to cook something. We do one interview way over to tell you about John Oguma, which is the person that they see for the screen right now. When Piki come outside, say, see what papa they do them like this, like this. A lot of una God they say, this boy they do like this, he they lie, they do like this. Now another Oguma Piki don't come. This one, he and that boy not be the same mama. So underline that statement. Not be the same mama. This one a different mama, but the same papa. He say wetin that boy talk for there, he own dey learn. Say now he want to talk her own too about the papa. So I never know wetin she want talk now. So Mona sit down so that we will listen to this one. This one na another one. So sister, how you doing?
I'm very fine. Good afternoon.
Abeg, wetin be the name? Wetin be the name?
My name is Ejiro Oguma, sister to Felix Oguma.
Oguma. The Oguma, the John Oguma, where everybody know. Nice to born you.
Exactly the same John Oguma.
Okay, correct. So where you from come?
Okay, I'm from Delta State and
Yes.
my mom is from Auchi. Her name is Patience
Okay.
Okuku. When I was growing up,
Patience Oku.
I found out
Yes.
that she was not with my dad. So she took me away from the house where we lived together with my dad when I was 3 years old and brought me to Lagos. That was all I could remember until 2004 when I met my dad when I was 16 years old after secondary school,
After
precisely.
secondary school, so no only your mama train you reach
Yes,
after secondary school before you come meet your
exactly.
papa. Which year you say you meet us? So
2004.
2004. Okay,
Yes.
we listen.
So my mom met him at the airport that very year, and he insisted that he wanted to see me, that he has been looking for my mom because the fight they both had was brutal. That they invited police, they arrested themselves, all sort of jargons. So she had always told me bad things about him. So I was left alone to find out who John Oguma is at the age of 16. I was 16 at the time.
Okay,
So he sent the flight tickets because my mom told him at the time that I cannot use public transport. So I got myself to worry for the first time and I met him in person and he
in
introduced
which
me to the
year? Which
family.
year?
Then I 2004
Okay,
and he
2004.
introduced me
Yeah.
to the family and I found out that we were plenty, we were much, not even
How many
compared to
children?
now. According to Felix Oguma, he said they are 27 because he's counting. I'm not counting. I lost count when he started having
Okay.
other kids who he calls the new generation Oguma. So I don't count his kids, but I know when I met him with a lot of wives and concubines till date.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
couldn't cope with that lifestyle because I wasn't raised that way. So when I go to school, I come back and I just prefer staying back at my mom's place, which was a problem for him. But I told him if he was not going to bring my mom in, that I was not ready. So we tried reconciliation. I don't know what happened between them. They quarreled again. Till date, they don't talk.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how your life with your papa be? Because we won't
Very
know.
bad.
So how is
Very.
like now put you for your university or because we won't know everything about so that make them because a lot of people they say with you fairly talk na lie. So now make me say okay, this is where you come so. What will be your experience with your dad till now?
Okay. First things first, I would say this. I'm doing this video not under duress, not under pressure, not to blackmail my father or to make him look like a bad person before the world, but I'm doing this for posterity's sake. I'm doing this for my
Okay.
other siblings that are suffering in penury, that do not have enough to live their day to day life. I am doing this not because I am lazy. I am doing this not because I'm bitter, because I know the society we live in today. We have a lot of people that want to think one sided. So I want us to have an open mind to this thing. If you have ever been raised in a polygamous setting and you had love, congratulations. But me, I do not have that love from both sides. I do not understand what it means to be loved by parents. I was abused from a very tender age. and I don't even want to go into that. But Felix
Mm.
Oguma categorically wasn't lying in that video. And I would have you know that Felix Oguma knows my dad more than I do because he was in the picture right from childhood. I only got to meet John Oguma, which happens to be my father, in 2004 when I was already
Okay.
16. I already had at least some better part of my life with my mom. I had a mind of my own, and I was very brilliant and still brilliant. And he just assisted with my university fee. That each time it was time for him to pay this school fees, it was tug of war. So when I met
Really?
my father, let's start. And then my mom said I should come back to Lagos, that I was going to get enrolled in a university. And he said no, he declined. So my mom told him, this girl has never been to a government school before. She has gone through private school all her life. So what are you going to do about that? Because we are not even intending to put her in a public school. And he said, where's the result? At the time I had my jam, I had my NECO, I had my WAEC. And so we started off. He said, okay, he was going to put me in a school. And they chose Igbinedium. And I remember telling him that I want to study theater arts. He agreed. Then later took me behind that my mom, because my mom used to be a photographer, that was the same thing my mom did that caused their issue. That this kind of profession would lead a female child into prostitution. I'm like, I'm not even going to be on screen. So he said, he convinced me, and I said, fine. And we wrote the exams for Ignedium, and I still thought I was going to study theater arts, but they said they didn't have theater arts as at then. So I got into mass communication. So where the glitch started from with my dad, when I did 100 level, I did second semester, and I saw that I started bringing statistics. That was not my thing. So I left school. I'm going to be very truthful here. I left
Yeah.
school. He got angry. We settled it. And I told him, I don't mind being the first student to actually pioneer the course theater art in Igunedium. And yes, of course, I was the first student. I enrolled back, and they said I could do 200 level without doing 100 level. I told them I want to be a theater artist from the scratch. If I'm going to have a bachelor's of art degrees, it should be from beginning. So I started from 100 level. That made it 5 years in Igunedium. I studied theater arts. Then it was hell. There was no day he didn't remind me that I was a waste. There was no day he didn't remind me that I was not good enough. And I had this brain, and I was using it to study something that didn't count. And then I remember telling him that CRMD studied theater artists. He said, but he's in the government house now. So what does that make him? It's not important. And I can remember countless times we would have to call people to beg my dad to pay school fees to send us feeding. I can remember vividly when I went to the village and he married a 16-year-old girl, and he made us
Your
to
dad,
tend.
your dad
Yes,
married 16 years old girl.
yes, yes. He married a 16 year
Mm.
old girl at the time, and he made us to tend to that girl that we were older than. She was still in secondary school. They would put her in the car with Mopo to take her to school. While we that were in university, we didn't have the basic things that we needed. We were abused in all ramifications. I am sorry to say this, but that's the truth. So I kept on telling my mom, I said, me, I can't stand this. So it's just because of school, I'm still here. So when it was final here, I kept on saying, okay, pay school fees. He said no. So I had to use our professor in theater arts to beg him as usual to pay. And my dad washed this man as usual. He said, you're not ashamed of yourself. You're a professor of theater arts. Is that even something to be proud about? So he didn't pay that fees. My mom paid for my final year tuition, and I served in Sokoto. So when they gave me my call up letter, another problem, I told him I wanted to serve in Sokoto for some basic reasons, as I just wanted to build my spiritual life, that I had not been close to God prior to that time. And I just felt the need to just do 1 year service in church. He said it's not
Okay.
possible. Then why don't I redeploy to Asaba? That I can as well still do my God thingy in Asaba. And I told him, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know this man had this bitterness in his heart I didn't know he wasn't happy about my decision. So I left for Sokoto and then we cut ties for some time. When I got back after a year of service, I came back to Lagos to my mom and then I reached out. I told him I didn't even reach out immediately. I started doing things on myself. Then much later I reached out. And he said he was angry. I didn't reach out myself. My pastor reached out to him. So this is forgiveness. He now said, okay, we should go study our masters. That is myself and Rukewe, one of our siblings that is married now. So we started the procedures. We went ahead and did the transcript, got involved with a company that was going to help us with the school details and all that in the UK. And then when we're done with that, I told him that this is the amount that they said we should come with. And then he invited me over to Asaba because I wanted to study skincare at the time as my master's.
Yes.
And he said that's the same mistake I made by studying theater arts. And I'll have you know that because of this same man, my pursuits in the costume and makeup in Nollywood, I shut that down because I'd already started pursuing it as a costumer because my major is costume and makeup. I don't want to appear on camera. And because of him, I stopped it. The castigation was too much. I said, fine, if it's going to cost us this relationship, then let it go. So when I got to Astaba, he told me that he doesn't have any plans to sending me to the UK. This is someone that has made me go back to school, get my transcripts, all the stress involved. And he said he's not interested in sending me to the UK. That I should see this car we're riding in now. It's a bulletproof car. That do I know how much it costs? That he has the money, but he doesn't want to send me to go study skincare. That was the use of that, anyways. I'm like, skincare is a very good and lucrative business if you study it correctly without being biased. It's a good handwork that would fetch us more money with the way Nigeria is going now. He said, no, that I should listen to him. I said, fine, no problem. I'll listen to you. Then he said he was going to come to Lagos. He came to Lagos and then he gave me 1 million naira and
Which
said I
year be
should open
that?
a shop with that. Oh, I think that was about 2017. That should be
2017.
2017. Yes.
Okay.
He gave me 1 million and said, I told him I'd already gone to learn skincare in Nigeria on my own, that
Okay.
I want to open my own spa. And he said, fine. So I opened up the spa. I would have you know that you were not supportive to send me to the UK to study skincare. But when I studied it on my own in a local way in Nigeria, you gave me money to finance the business.
Which is
How funny,
the
right?
1 million.
He said, yes, which is the 1 million.
Okay.
So I opened the shop
Okay.
in Aja, or at Badore Road to be precise. And he came visiting and confirmed that I opened this shop in a real sense. And then I told him I needed car because I did more of home service at the time. I told him I needed a vehicle to convey me from my point to, and then he said I should come to Asaba. And that getting to Asaba, he gave me an accidented car, which was a Corolla, no, a muscle, a Toyota muscle. That's what he gave to me. But that car had been driven by a stepson, ruined, and they just coupled it together for me. It was in a very bad shape that they had
Yes.
to bring the car to Lagos for another mechanic to fix the car after the car got to Lagos. So on seeing the entire thing, I sold the car. When I sold the car, I invested the money into another car, a smaller car, which was a Toyota Corolla saloon car. And then I did not know that that one too had a problem because I bought it Nigeria use, and the engine was already bad, but they were just managing it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me manage this car for another 1 year. I'll change it again. Meanwhile, my stepmom told me not to sell the car, that if I should sell the car, my dad will not be happy with me and we're going to get into big trouble. I told her, fine. But I made that decision on my own. So in the course of this period, I fell ill. And then it was so bad that I lost my mind. I didn't even know what was happening to me at the time. Before I lost my mind, I called my dad. I told him they've diagnosed me. I didn't release the name to him because I didn't want to fear him. I said, but I need money to get along with my health and all that. And he said I should come to Asaba. I said, as it is now, I have dropped from over 90 kg to about 50 something kg. I can't even travel the roads now to Asaba now. I am sorry I cannot make it. And he said, I'm not ready to survive. If I'm ready to survive, then I will come to Asaba. That is there anything I'm hiding? I said, I'm not hiding anything, but I'm not feeling fine. I cannot come. So that was how we ended the conversation. And then I started staying on my own because I stayed alone in Lagos at the time. So I called my mom. I said, "See, this was happening. I'm not strong at all." But after that, my mom didn't come. But my landlady had to call my mom that there was something wrong, that I was really mad. So they had to take me to Mountain of Fire. From there, my mom got me, and then I was restored. But before I was restored, my mom sold my car, packed my shop down to Ibejuleki, my house, everything was packed down back home because the family told her that why would she allow me stay alone in the first place? That I have to go back home since I was not married. So I went back home. That was the genesis of the whole tribulation. So when I got
Mm.
back home, I started church in Eleko here, and then I met my husband, which is my husband now. Now I called my mom. I said, "You have to call him because he doesn't take calls. Call him. Let us know how it's going to be. I want to go for an introduction." But I'm getting to know now that Felix told me an entirely different story. That my dad said I pressured him into giving me out like a piece of cloth. This man practically gave me out like a piece of it, like chubayam, just threw me away like that. I don't know
Mm.
what reason he did that. I don't know. This was me just trying to recover from a mental state that I don't know what happened to me. And then you chose to give me out to somebody I brought to you for an introduction. You didn't fix the date. The guy came for date, nothing. You collected his father's number from him and said, "You said your dad is a pastor." The guy said yes. He said, "Is he as rich as Ibiyomi?" He said, "No, my dad is a pastor in Assemblies of God." And he said, "Fine, we don't need to go too far. I can just bless you. I have a right to bless her, bless the marriage the way I want to bless it, right here in the sitting room. I am the only surviving Oguma, and this is my child. So much later, you can come back
He
for
said I be the
baby
only
right here."
surviving Oguma.
Yes, that's what he said. That
Okay.
he has a right to do that. So some people that can, all these chief in Delta said they must have people
Yeah, yeah,
seated
yeah.
there. Some elders will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
there, and then when I got to Asaba, he didn't allow me sleep in his house. I slept the first day
Why?
in the hotel, and I don't know for him. I don't know whatever that is. I slept the first day in an hotel. We didn't have money because I did not go to him with a rich man. So we didn't have money. So I had to contact a friend to move down to our house. So in the morning, when he said we should come for the blessings, I told my mom, I said, "This is what this man is doing." My mom said, "If that's what he wants to do, he should do. He's a very difficult person." I said, "But we actually came here for dates and not to get married in actual sense." And he said, "Just tag along." I said, "Fine." I we went there. I went there with my friend, which was the witness of this marriage. And then he broke the collar, did all he was going to do, called my husband's father on phone. And that one was like, "Is this how you want to give birth to your child?" And he said, "Yes." I felt bad, but that's his decision to make.
Mhm.
And then we left Asaba. He didn't give us, when I asked him that, "Dad, please, can you assist us with transport?" He gave us 10,000 naira. He gave us
Yes.
10,000. Only for him to go back to say that I was the one pressuring him. Just though, does Oguma look like somebody that can be pressured to do something he doesn't want to do? Someone you beg for school fees, you beg for handouts, you beg for practically everything to feed. Then you pressure
Mm.
him. to marry you out. So we left. And I thank God that I did not marry into a family where they didn't value certain things. I was coming from a different background, and he had a strong and a well structured background, and that has kept my marriage. Though I told them that we're no more. But I think it's high time I say the truth. I am still very much married to Richard Victor. I'm still very much married and have two kids for him. And he has not in any way pressured me into doing this. He has not in any way. Instead, he wants to meet with this man to go pay the dowry as it's supposed to be. But he's not taking my father-in-law's call. He's not taking my husband's call. For what reason? I don't know. My crime is I brought a poor man. My crime is I studied theater art. My crime is I chose to be with my mother. That's the only crime I can remember committing to my father, and of which I don't see it as a crime. My values in life is not money, though money is important, but my values are potentials. What this person is bringing to the table, what he has to offer me mentally. I want to be stable. That's why I chose this man. But he sees it as a crime. But I'll have you know that my mom told me this same man was poor when they got married. So I don't know what he has with poverty. Now you have an issue with poverty and you do not want to help your children to get to where you are. Instead, you derive joy in bringing them down and you are saying they are poor. I don't understand that.
So, like,
So
how many
these
of
are
you
the major
now?
reasons.
Oh, yeah. So, how many of you now they live where under John Oguma? How many of the children you know where they live where?
The only person that I can say lives well, and this is how I came to this conclusion. When I had my second child through CS, I had terrible um, breakout, breakdown, and I needed funds. Before this time, I ran into debt. I remember my dad, when I call him for money, would tell me, the one money I gave you, keep using it. I'm not going to give you any other money. They waste. I borrow money to you to go and borrow money. So I borrowed money due to my father's advice. And I started another business. I ran into terrible losses. At the time, I was pregnant. And prior before this time, I already had a miscarriage. My body size, my health condition, I can't keep having miscarriage. So I was placed on a 3 month bed rest. In space of that 3 months, the girl I call my niece, I left in the shop. That one squandered everything. So by the time I returned back to start the business and start paying the debts I could pay, and I was still pregnant, I didn't have any means. The state CID invited me. They were sending SMS to my contact, of which my stepmom said she saw one of the SMS sent to him, my father. They were just branding me bad. Some of the
Which
loan
people?
sharks and some of the
Okay,
there's
the
those loan sharks. Those loan
okay,
sharks
those long
that
people.
did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But the biggest company did not do that, which is Lendigo. Instead, they sent me a letter and invited me to state CID. So I reached out to my dad again and I
How
said,
much you borrow then? How much? How much?
I took about 5 million from Lendigo. That was the biggest.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
before reaching out to him, I'd already tried my best that I could. And the pressure was much. At the time, my husband was working at Dangote Refinery and he was using his salary to offset some of these bills. And it was choking. Just imagine, it was choking him already. I didn't want to lose my home. Then I'll be with two children, nothing to show for it. I said, you know what? Let me just try and reach out to my dad. Let me just bury pride. Before reaching out to him, I'd already sent countless messages. He wasn't responding. I reached out to his wife called
Which
Joy.
year be this?
I
Which
reached out.
year?
That was my baby is 2 years old now. That was 2000. How
2022.
we forget it?
2022.
2022. 2022 years.
Yeah.
2022. So they didn't know I was
Okay.
pregnant. I told her that, see, this I opened up. I was very plain. I did not say that I said I'm in debt and they are pressuring me. My life is at stake. I sent countless messages to him. He didn't respond. So she said she was going to get back to me. The getting back to me that she meant, they put my brother, General, on the line for me to talk to. And before I spoke to General, I spoke to Felix, I spoke to Elvis. I'm calling names so they will know that I actually did. I spoke to
Okay.
them and they said I should reach out to General. So I reached out to General, and General said he's going to talk to dad. In all fairness, whenever I reach out to General, General sends me money to clear some. In all fairness, so when I was able to still speak to John Oguma, which is my dad, he said, "So now you say you're in debt." I said, "Yes." He said, "Where's the car that I bought for you?" I said, "I sold it," because he did not know that I sold the car since, and he's asking for it in
Yes.
2022. Like, wow. I said, "I sold it when I was not feeling fine." And he said, "Yes, that means you don't have any, I don't have anything to do with you. If you cannot provide that car, consider me dead, that you don't have a father. Know that from today, I am dead." And since then, I considered him dead, and practically, because that's what he said I should consider him as. So that's the major reason I am doing this video. That he said I should consider him dead. So no one should reach out to me that I'm his child. Since he said I should consider him dead. So it was
So
General that assisted me. Right.
yeah, I hear you.
He said, so
Only
what?
Genero now assist you. So now
He
among all the
assisted doing it.
children,
It's
so
the
your
same
pan
General
love
that is the one that has money.
only Genero.
It's the same only Genero that I reached out to. I said, I just had a surgery. I just gave birth, and this is it. And he said, okay, what happened? I said, I have a breakdown because of my size, and they have to do it again. I reached out. He said I should reach out to our firstborn, which is Kingsley Oguma. I reached out to Kingsley. Kingsley could only give me 40,000 naira. He was the one that provided the major part of the money. And then, prior
Yeah.
to this whole thing, when I had my first child, you remember when I told you when he gave me out like a piece of clothes? When
Yes.
I had my first child, I informed him that I now have a baby. He said, "Congratulations." At that time, Uremu's mother just passed. And I think they were doing the burial. And he said, will they bury my wife? Another person come as my wife in place of my wife. That's Uremu's mother. That was in 2018. That was my first experience into motherhood. This man did not send me a dime. Okay, we reached out to him, name the child. By right, you have to name the child. And then because my father-in-law already did. And then he presented the name days later after we're done with the naming. I'm like, why would you do this? You don't want to give me money. I didn't ask you for the money. So why are you now still withholding naming the child? I don't get it. So for me, General is the one that has the larger share in the entire family. He's the one taking charge of his business, which is not supposed to be so. There has to be
So
fair judgment.
your dad not put on her for like place is like say okay go here this person will give you work with all this connection not place on her for.
No, no way. I wasn't
Mhm.
placed anywhere. I wasn't placed anywhere. When he condemned my theater art stuff, I went into video editing and graphics. I'm a professional video editor and a graphic designer and a voiceovers. Nothing. Everything I'm doing today is from my own will to want to be better and not because of him. He didn't give me anything. All he did for me was pay my fees, which was by tooth or by crook. And there's a saying that if you had paid fees from 100 to 300 level, and you didn't pay the final year fees. You didn't. That means you actually didn't pay the fees because the last year is the major time I need you the most as a parent. So no, he didn't. He didn't. And he has this way of making you feel lesser than you are. He has
Mhm.
this way of making you
How?
feel like you
What do you
can't.
mean?
Yes,
What do you mean by that?
like for for example, you're always having grudges against me as a child. There is no year we're not quarreling. There's no year that they're not settling it. My pastor is settling it, and you're saying, no mind them. She's a disobedient child. She's a bad child. You keep hammering the nail. If you call him now and say, Adriel, your daughter, you say, he studied theater, married a poor man, you're making me feel lesser than I ought to
Now
be.
say they talk. Now say they tell people.
Yes, that's what he tells people. And I told you the lies he told against me that was when I pressured him to marry me out to the boy I brought for introduction. That I'm just a waste. Now the girl I stayed in her house during the wedding because I couldn't sleep in his house for I don't know for what reason. He started to date the girl and said he
Date the
liked
girl.
her. I'm telling you, I will not mention names, but she knows herself.
Yeah.
He said he said he liked her, and this person was my best friend at the time. So they started doing their thingy. After this period, this girl stopped being my friend. When I reached out to her and said, see, oh, I gave birth to, she said, I don't have money, you too, I'm owing. Started to give me serious excuses, started to detach herself from me. And I said, okay, you have heard my dad's story. You have heard from his own part. So you believe him over me. And I said, fine. Obano, they go transfer. Stay your day, make I day my day. If you want to believe his story, fine. And then when they started to have issues that he was holding on to some of her documents, she reached out to me to call him. I'm like, are you sabi? So this whole thing, I don't know where it's coming from, but I know that he talks down at people. A parent is supposed to be there as a guardian to the child. If you don't
Yes.
want to bring, you don't want to have children, why bring them to this world and make them suffer? I have just two kids in my 7 years of marriage. That doesn't mean my womb is ruptured, but I know that these are my responsibility. I have to instill or inculcate legacy into them, money or no money, so that in future I would be the one to enjoy it and say, "Your mama try for this one." I stayed in my marriage not because I'm foolish, not because I'm not beautiful enough to get on that man, but because I want to stay in it and not make the same mistakes my both parents made and made rubbish of the entire thing. I don't want this an affliction to rise a second time, not because I'm stupid,
So
but because I know what I'm
so
doing.
how many of una na your
So,
mabon give
okay,
John Oguma? How many?
just me,
Like you,
and
like
just
oh
me,
just
oh, just
so you are
me
number
alone.
what now? So you are number
No,
what?
I don't even know the number where I don't know the number where I am. Oh. I don't know the number, and I don't even want to
Eh,
know because every day they plenty. So I don't want to know, but I know that I'm the only one, and it finds it difficult to take care of just me. I don't have any sibling, no one that will say, okay,
mm,
it's the same mother. I don't gossip or spoil this one or spoil that one. No, when they are doing it, I say, I beg, they didn't raise me like this. I will even be the one to go and tell the person, say, you do this one say you do amo. So they don't even discuss anything in my presence. They say, Drew, very bad person. That's what they know me that one. I don't like it. I don't backbite. I hate politics in a family. You don't bring your political character into your family. More like you're doing a rally or you're trying to opposition in the family. You hit this one, say this one, hit this one, they hit that one. They're trying to be good in your sight. So this one will spoil this one and spoil that one. Does it make sense? No. So I don't have issues with him. My major reason for coming to do this because I went through the comment section on Facebook and on YouTube. I saw that they were insulting my brother Felix. They said he was a liar, and even the entire Elvis and Co said he's a lie. It's not a lie. Felix is not telling lies. With the little time I spent with John Oguma, I saw fin, I saw hell. He will place his wife above his children. And finally, I'm doing this again because of when he do pass on, so that an outsider will not come take what has to be for his children. I've made up my mind that even if he passes on, I won't attend his burial. But that doesn't mean I can't speak up for my siblings, even if I don't get anything out of it. Let it be on record that I spoke out, I lent my voice. I'm a woman, I'm not supposed to be the one talking. They are supposed to be the one talking, but they are not talking. Their legacy is being ripped off, and they're keeping quiet because they are scared. It instills fear into you. You begin to fear your father. When I just got to Worry that time, when I met him in Worry, when he's coming, the entire parlor will just dissolve. Everybody, Jackpa! I'll be the only one sitting down. Like, why are they running away? Is this person a demon? This is your dad for crying out loud. I wasn't trained like this. They say, no worry, you just they come. Let make it they give you first hand treatment. Very soon you get to know him. So you they enter the in car. We don't enter this kind of car. We don't enter his car. You are the only one that put inside car, go and buy something and come back. Big girl. Very soon you get to know the kind of person he is. May this your reign last too. That's what we're telling me. So I started to see those things that they said, and it happened right before my very eyes. The abuse was top notch. You cannot place your child above or beneath your step, your concubine or your wives you bring in. No, your stepwife is not supposed to be the one begging you to pay. My stepmother is supposed to be begging you to pay my school fees as a child. I should be number one priority to you as a father. That's what I understand as parenting. And if you cannot give me that as a parent, then you're not my parent.
Even me self, I don't confuse. So, but everybody they respect your dad for full data state,
Oh,
and
I
he dey
know he's
buy
a
form, they
philanthropist.
give people, yeah, he dey buy form
Mm.
for people to be counselor, to be how they call
Oh,
that, local government chairman. He know a lot of people, so he know fit place. What you call make an fit dey place the children for somewhere. Where you go work, not be even money, just to place them. Why not if they do all like that? You just need to just say, go and meet this person, go put you for this work because your dad they capable of that thing. So by why not they agree they put the children for somewhere?
he's very capable, but wickedness won't allow him. Wickedness and covetousness will not allow him. I can see a comment saying, "Don't insult your father." You know, Nigerians, we have been brought up to accept all forms of abuse from our parents.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I chose to have a different mindset. I'm addressing that comment. You can't bring a child to this world and not be responsible for that child. So all I'm saying, I'm not insulting him. I'm only stating the kind of person he is. He's a bitter soul. I'm sorry to say this, but that's the truth. If you chose to go outside and be a philanthropist, you are well known. You are the justice of peace in the society. You contributed this one. You did police station for this one. And your children cannot have the necessary basic things of life. They don't have it. Then what does that make you? Does it make you a good dad? It doesn't make you a good dad. But you see in our society, we like to call black white and call white black. If you continue like that and you come to my page, you bring these shenanigans to my page, I will tell it to you rightly. I am not under my father's tutelage. I did not know him till I was 16. And I got to know him then, and then he exhibited this kind of character from 2004 to 2024. What if I had died in the process of this entire death, or they locked me up? They did not lock me up because of my baby. They said she was too tender. Because when I went there with my baby. They gave me time till I gave birth, and I went there with my baby. And they said this baby is too small. That's the main reason we're not going to lock you up for this money. But till today, I'm still owing that money, paying in bits. And the more you pay, the interest increases, it accumulates. Then somebody is coming to tell me I shouldn't insult my father. Let me say this in pidgin. Now, my mom and papa will do when they come, mama and papa. I tell my
Yes.
children every day, if I no stand by you as a mother and you grow, no respect me, I don't need it. But if I'm able to inculcate a legacy into you and you see say my family dey together and you grow up, you insult me, I go kill you. Why? Because I did my best to be a mother to you. The
Yes.
mother hen protects his chick the same way the father is ought to protect his children. So you shouldn't come telling me not to insult him. It's not an insult. It's stating categorically the kind of person he is. If you should put my mom on this call, now my mom will say worse things about him because she was one that was married to him. And I know the kind
Yes.
of terrible things she told me about him. So you don't come judging from one angle. So a child is supposed to keep quiet. Even the Bible says, do not grieve your children. Don't grieve them. They are human beings too. They have a mind of their own. Or they have minds of their own. So why would grieve them and say you should not talk? That is the African mind culture. And I say no to that. If that would cost me my life, I'm ready to stake out my life that I said this and I'm owning it. This is my truth. I'm sorry. But you cannot please outsiders and displease your immediate family. That doesn't make you an hero or a martyr. When Jesus died, he died for everybody. He did not die for one person. So why would you go outside and die the death, then come into his family and not take care of his family? Chapter what, verse what?
So among all the children now, just only one or two. Now they
Yes, just
okay.
one or two. The person that is the secretary, which is Uremu, and then General. Period. I know when I'm done with this, they'll start trying to reach me. I get bad character. I know they pick up before. So I'm saying it now. You know, go see me talk to. You can only send message I read. I keep you quiet if I want to. I know how to ignore because I've been ignoring
So
for
what will be
years.
your message now? Yeah, what will be your main message now to your dad direct? Because I know say you go watch this one. So what will be your
My
main
main
message to her?
my main message is that you cannot give what you don't have. If we are asking you, or if I, Ejiro, from day one I met you, I said I wanted to feel loved. I had not experienced the joy of fatherhood till I was 16. Unlike my children, I've been able to give them that. They don't even love me as much as they love their father. If their father is here,
Yeah.
there is joy in the house. So I call him joy giver when he's around. The joy is awesome. I didn't experience this childhood. More like I was bottled up. So now he cannot give me love because he chose. I feel there's some place in his heart because he had a place in his heart where he brought that little he showed me when he met me, and it was all rosy until he started to spoil it. If you could just bring out a minute part of it and help his children, we're not telling you to give them billions. There's a way you will give somebody love and not give the person money, and that person will be so joyous because
Yes.
love supersedes all. Love is above money. But now these children need both. They need money and they need love. Set them up in a good office where they can work and earn good money. You have the ability and the capacity to do these things. So why what is holding you back? We all know that polygamous homes are never peaceful. We all know that your weaknesses is to be with women. Fine and good. But all we ask you is to take care of the children you fathered. Because whether you like it or not, if I leave this earth today, they will contact you that I am gone. And you still have a major role to play. Is that where you want to start sending me money? No. You should do your duties now as a father. Should nurture your children. They are all suffering. Forget all this social media nonsense that they go there to type a pistol and say they are not suffering. Every should come and prove to me that it's not suffering. I should send him my account details now. I should send me just 500,000. Kingsley should do the same. Carol should do the same. I want to see these monies in my account. If truly they have money. But this whole trying to back your father, will your daddy back you like that? If you were to get into trouble now, will your father back you like that? He will not. He's going to disown you immediately. I was opportune to
Mm-hmm.
have witnessed Ogba's removal from the house. He disowned him, and that boy was removed. That boy is in Ghana as we speak. I've not heard from him in a long while. That's an Oguma blood there. Just
Mm-hmm.
because, and I heard that it was from Felix. I even heard that he came to apologize, and my dad refused collecting the drink and blah 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 that they want to use him for rituals, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't your children partake from your prosperity? Why? If they cannot partake from it, then why are you working? You say all you owe us is education. You owe us education. You owe us a better life. I have seen where a father is the one sponsoring the child abroad to go give birth, and the husband has the money, but he says, I want to do this. I owe my child this. So you have ended up messing the minds of your children. Now, if the head is faulty, the body can never function well. And you are the head as a father. You are faulty. Try to fix the body. I'm sorry, dear dad, if this sounds as though I'm talking too much or I'm ridiculing you in the sight of the public, or you feel your political opponents paid me to do this. I don't know them. They don't know me. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this to ridicule you. When I saw you in person, I told you this exact same words, and I kept on telling you, but you didn't listen. So I'm going to back up Felix on this one. If anybody is going to go down, let me go with him. So if
Oh,
everybody
thank you.
says they are living fine, they should provide their statement of account. They should spend money. Let us see them spend money. The only person that can declare now and spend money is General. Any other person, na lie, nothing. Foul. So they
Mm-hmm.
should do the needful. I heard that Merit is in Lagos with me here. She's doing a receptionist attendant. Ha, wahoo.
Really?
That's what I heard. That's what Felix said on that interview.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
Felix
yeah.
said, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Everybody is scared to speak up. Why? Why are you scared to say the truth? What will it cost you? They're not giving you already. The little they give you, you see it as big. Meanwhile, it's nothing. It's just like going out and then you throw a piece of fish into a big bath of water. That's what they're giving you, a big bowl of water. They're not giving you anything. So why can't you speak up for your tomorrow, for your future? You don't have a legacy as far as I'm concerned. When it goes down now, you're not going to see anything. You go there, they go, they bury your part, they share in things. Nothing go enter your hand. Though. If you are for his wealth, you will not get anything. But if you keep quiet now, you will bear the bonds in time to come. I'm a woman. I don't be on that person's name. I don't move on. But you, being the male children in the family, keeping quiet and saying it's a lie. I'm so sorry. That's not how to show love. Being truthful is how to show love. Start by telling the truth. So since
So everything we
2004 till
Felix
now,
talk,
it's all
that truth.
true. It's all true. Why I'm not able to experience as much as he did, that mine was over the phone, was because I was always running away. I could just black out for like a year and two, and run back again, go again. I was never stable there because my mental health matters to me a lot. What goes in there matters to me a lot because I know I've got health conditions. So when I begin to think too much, it takes me down. So I detach myself from it. When I see that the volume is too much, I run away. Okay, if he's such a good person, when my sister got married, why has she not kept in touch? I only just got in touch with my sister yesterday after several years of marriage. She stayed
Mhm.
away because it was just too much for her. And then you're there supporting evil that he didn't do anything. My professor that he insulted, if I can get his number and call him, he's going to recount the same thing. How dare you? So TSR is not a subject, and those studying it are making a living out of it. You're seeing just the bad aspect and leaving out the good aspect. That's it. So I'm
So
standing by Felix.
now yeah, yeah. So now yeah will take end because a lot of people that they just say Felix they lie, the papa put the children where now they do like this, do like this. So where you go contact now
Parara,
was like
from
another
this
one,
door,
yeah.
from
Mm.
this door, so you can see my door. This will be Paco door. From this door, you
Yes,
should
yes.
tell the kind of house I'm living in. From this door, you should tell the kind of house I'm living in. So if you place us well, what are we going to gain to come and tarnish the image of our beloved father? I want the general public to answer this question. If he placed us well, what are we going to gain from coming to say he did not? Can outsider give us what he can give us? That we're going to choose the backs of outsiders? He chose the backs of outsiders by being a philanthropist outside. Then inside his home, there's nothing to write home about. No.
So since
From this door, you should
when you
know
finish school, since when you don't become adult, you don't finish school. So not only 1 million. Now your dad don't help you
1
for
million that
business.
he gave me. He gave me 1 million to open a shop, and I fell ill. My mom moved everything, sold my car to take care of me. I was terribly ill. In fact, I was mad for months. And my mom got in touch with him. He did not respond. Because the drugs they gave me took over my mind. So when they took me back, because I couldn't tell her that this is what I'm treating and this was happening. So by the time she got to me, she started from another hospital. Those ones didn't know the cause. So when I regained consciousness, I told her what's going on. And she told me, I said, take me back to military hospital. That's the personal hospital I use. Military hospital Ikoyi. I said, take me back there. My doctor will explain what is happening. So when we got there, the doctor said she's not mad though. She's reacting to the drugs that we gave her. Why would you say she's mad? Why are you bringing her now? And then I already lost weight to about 60 kg from this size. Then they started treatment. I told her she's not madness. So she's just reacting to the drugs, and there was nobody to take care of her at the time. So my mom started taking care of me till I recovered and started to live normal life. So then she had sold everything. And these things happen so fast. So it's not as if I just stayed
But
and I sold
that
and I
time
just decided to sell.
they call and say you know where he come
Uh-uh. Before my mom came, I called him. Before everything, I called him. When I recovered a bit, I called him. That
and
this
he
is
not
what's
come.
happening to me. Oh, he did not come. He did not send a fadding. So why will I? What will I want to gain from insulting the person that brought me here on earth? What will I gain? You left me for the whole of 16 years. Say you're looking for me. I turned to needle. You couldn't find me. Thank God you didn't find me. Maybe I would have had a different mentality now. Maybe. So thank God I met you at that point of my life where I was transitioning into higher institution. Just the few years we spent, I know what I've been through in your hand. If you're not saying I did this, you're saying I did that, you are holding grudges against your children. After they tell you sorry, you still hold grudges and you use it against them. So I'm not insulting him.
Okay, so what will be your last one before we go now? Because time don't reach, more take go. Thank you, wait, take clear the hair. So what will be your last word to the rest Oguma children and the Oguma family? Because they
They
say
should
this
all
in a
speak
family
up.
big way. Not
Yes,
just only the children, they
they should
answer the
speak
Oguma.
up.
There's another cousin them, another people that they answer the Oguma.
Yes, yes. They
Okay.
should speak up. My siblings, speak up and speak out. You all know me, I've been a very outspoken person right from time. I didn't just pick up this character or Felix didn't call me. I saw Pararan's video on Facebook and I traced it down to YouTube and I watched the interview and I was like, wow, way to go. I reached out to Pararan myself even before I reached out to Felix and decided to grant out this interview. I am not castigating my father. I am not in any way joining forces with anybody to speak evil or ill of my father. I am only speaking and stating the obvious. And I
All
expect you all to go for this liberation. If I can speak against pastors, swindling money, being tight Morgans, then I should be able to speak against my dad. If I'm not scared of the anointing, then I shouldn't be scared of my dad. So I'm sorry. I stand for the truth and truth alone. So if you feel you want to stay in your shell, remain there. Then in
Thank you.
years to come, you will know I told you this.
Thank you. So thanks for today and thanks for your time. So my mock news people,
Definitely.
Unadoye, and everybody for Delta State, this one another of a doctor. This will not be the same mama with Felix, so the one I interview. This one another mama from Bini. Only she na dey born. So our experience from 2004, Abi?
Yes.
2004, call reach now.
Yes.
Now I put for now. So it no go, they go put from there, say from other children. Now own waiting she pass through for a papa and now I don't put so. If I talk and I say I might take this man, another picking I could be this. So you understand? So now here we'll just stop today. So my name is Sireme, Pararan one, and I deal with my sister. I have call your name, you give me the year round.
Ejiro Oguma.
Good. So now here we'll just stop. Next time we'll come back again. So thank you.
Pararan what you do blue. Pararan what you do blue. Umire rijo wo kan ya urobo.
Pararan what you do blue.
Umi organize wo kan ya urobo.
Pararan what you do blue.
Urobo ubuko wa Delta State ubuko.
Pararan what you do blue.
Nigeria ubuko wa Africa ubuko wa.
Pararan what you do blue.
Emanu robore nako aye ubuko wa.
Pararan what you do blue.
Amaragbe mo so what you do blue ayo.
Pararan what you do blue.